Hi, welcome to Sumery P. Today I've got a versatile spelt flour and oat cookie recipe. That's right, you can mix and match and create your own combinations. I'm going to show you two ways, fig and walnut and sultanas with sunflower seeds. But you can use choc chips, you can add coconut, you can add spice, you can do ginger, whatever you want to do and whatever you've got in the cupboard. So if you'd like to see how I make my versatile spelt oat cookie, come with me and let's see. So step one, you need to prep your oven and pop it on 180 degrees C and grab 2 baking trays and grease them and line them with baking paper ready to go. And we're going to do melted butter. So I've just got 100, just going to grab my recipe. Okay, I've got my recipe notes. I can't rely on my memory. So I've got 115 grams of butter. I'm using unsalted butter and I'm going to melt that behind me. But in there, I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of honey. Now, if you wanted to avoid using honey, you could add in something like agave nectar or brown rice malt syrup. I have a few viewers out there that are vegan or avoid certain sweeteners. So you can just add your own combination. So what we're going to do is we're going to gently heat this up just on a low temperature while we do the next step. Just so don't forget about it, I'm going to put a little timer on it just for 3 minutes. Okay, the next thing you want to do is grab a large bowl, and I've got rolled oats here. I was inspired by a recipe in my spelt flour book, or in my spelt book by Roger Saul, and they did it with spelt flakes. I don't have spelt flakes, I'm using just regular rolled oats because that's what I've got. So in here I've got 175 grams or 1 3/4 cups. I'm going to do a pinch of salt because I didn't use salted butter, so I'm popping a pinch of salt into that. And I've got light brown sugar. So we've got, what have we got? We've got 115 grams of light brown sugar, which is about half a cup. And I'm using a combination of spelt flour. I'm using 55 grams of white spelt flour. I'm not going to sift it or anything. That's about half a cup. And 55 grams of whole grain. Now, if you've only got one or the other, just use whatever you've got. So we'll just mix that around and knock out those big lumps of sugar. And as I said in the intro, I'm going to divide this basic cookie dough into 2. So it roughly gives you about 280 grams. And in this jar, I've got some sunflower seeds and sultanas. And in this jar, I've got some chopped figs, dried figs, and walnut pieces that I've already chopped. But you can use, I did them recently with milk choc chips. You can add some mixed spice with ginger pieces. You can just be creative and do your own combination. So let's keep an eye on our butter behind us. That's our timer and it's just about finished. So I'm just going to put it on this trivet. So now in this little container here, I've got 1 teaspoon of bicarb soda. I'm going to add that to my butter mix. And then I've got a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla into that as well. And our butter mix should go all foamy. It's best not to put the vanilla in before you heat it up because you lose a lot of the flavour. So while this is foaming up, you get all this kind of like bubbly goodness. I'm going to add that onto this dry mix. So now we've got the OT base and I want to divide it into 2. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'll get a slightly bigger bowl. Okay, let's weigh all this out. Using my phone to help me. So that's 278.5 in each bowl. So we'll pop that one back on. So let's measure out 278, 279, that'll be fine. So into one bowl I'm putting 35 grams of sultanas and 40 grams of sunflower seeds. And the other bowl I'm doing figs and walnuts, same quantity. You can do just all the same, but I just wanted to show you, whoops, chuck that in, back in. 2 different combinations. And because the flavours are quite similar, I'm just using the same spoon. Okay, let's pop one bowl to the side. So now let's start rolling. So you can either grab like a little spoon, but I actually think that I like my ice cream scoop. It kind of gives you a nice shape. It does half of the rolling for you. You just got to kind of squeeze it together with your hand to make it squish together. They don't have to be perfectly round. And then you just pop it on the tray. What I might do, I might actually just pop this bowl in the fridge while we're doing these ones. Just going to grab some flour out. So I'm just adding a little bit of flour to my hands to help form them. What I'll do is I'm just going to put the first 6 in the oven and get those cooking. So we're going to bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes and I'm going to keep an eye on them. Just show you, see this, the rest of the mix has gone a little bit crumbly, so I think I just need to chill it for a little bit so I'll get the next bowl out. So we've got our second tray and I've got my fig and walnut mix here. It's much happier just resting it slightly in the fridge. I'm squishing it down. When you're making this, don't be alarmed if you think it's too crumbly, because when I made it for the very first time, it was crumbling, but then I just kind of squished it in my hands as I was making the cookies and popped them on the tray, and they formed fine in the oven. They turned out really delicious. Just going to cheat and add a little bit of water just to help it mix, because for some reason today it's not performing. And this is really embarrassing because I'm doing a video and it's meant to be perfect. So let's see if I can get this happening. Much better. So a little tip at home. If you're trying to mix your mold your cookies and they're not forming, add just a tablespoon of water and it helps bind them together. I'll adjust my recipe and put a link in the description below, and that'll take it back to suemarieP.com where I've got all my recipes. Okay, I'm just going to do 6 per tray, so these ones are ready for the next bake. It's a good tip to have some hot dishwater in your sink so then you can clean your hands quickly. I should have said warm dishwater or warm water in your sink, so then you can wash your hands. So they're all clean. So the first tray is out of the oven, and when they come out of the oven, just let them cool for about 5 minutes and then transfer them to the wire rack just to cool down, and just be careful because they could still be soft. I'll just grab a lifter. So they're quite soft when they're still warm, and then they'll harden up as they cool down. But I haven't over baked these because I like my cookies a little bit soft. So I've just left them in for 10 minutes, but if you want crunchy cookies, just cook them for about 15 minutes. And I've got my second tray in. And also, if you wanted flatter cookies so they're crunchier, squish them down a lot more. And my tips are, if you wanted to not add any water, rest your cookie dough for 30 minutes before rolling. But if you're in a hurry and you just wanted to crack on with it, add a little bit of water into your cookie dough and it'll help you roll them a lot quicker. So I'm just going to continue cleaning up and we'll wait for the rest of the cookies to be finished, and then we'll do a little taste test. So we're back with our cookies. So my recipe made about 18 cookies because I made them kind of a medium size. So depending on how big you make them. And I've made 9 with fig and walnut and 9 with sultana and sunflower seeds. So let's do a taste test. So I've got one here with my sultanas and sunflower seeds. I love the flavour and the different textures. This is a fig and walnut. This is my favourite. It's delicious. And don't forget, share this with a friend, try baking it at home, and hit the thumbs up if you've liked it. consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here today. All you need to do is press the bell and then you get notified when I've got a new video. And don't forget to check out a few other videos for cookies that I've got on my channel. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.